I'm presently painfully obsessed with Doris Day. And it's a relatively new obsession from about the last 6 months or so. And I'm slowly working through her catalogue of films. And one of the latest that I watched is the 1960 film Midnight Lace. And the reason I'm talking about it today is because it instantly became one of my favourite Doris Day films, and I feel like it's quite underrated. So I hope that there will be no spoilers in here, so if you haven't seen it, you're perfectly fine to listen to my views, but I'm also especially interested in yours if you've seen it or if you go on to see it. So the film is directed by David Miller and written by Ivan Goff and Ben Roberts. And the best way to give you an overview of this is to read out the description on IMDb, and then I'll say whether or not I feel like that's an accurate description. So, according to IMDb, Midnight Lace is a film that is set in London. A recently wed American woman's sanity comes into question after she claims to be the victim of a threatening stalker. And that's a very brief description, but it is accurate. It's set in foggy London, and Doris Day plays a woman who is married to an Englishman. They're living in London just now, and all of a sudden she hears this voice when she's out in the fog of somebody kind of messing with her head, and then the phone starts to ring at home, and she starts to get these threatening phone calls. But somehow not everybody believes her. Even though the phone is ringing, we can hear it, other people witness this. But there are a few people who don't believe her, so she has to try and prove that this is happening while also trying to deal with this creepy stalker. And it is a very intense film, and it quickly becomes something that I didn't expect. So to begin with, I thought it would be like a detective film, but it becomes something much deeper. It becomes an analysis of the human mind, and then it doesn't. And that's all I can say without spoiling it. It's a roller coaster ride, and at no point is it dull. It is phenomenal. So the narrative is great and the progression is fantastic. The ending I won't spoil. I will not tell you what happens. But I will say that I was not expecting that outcome. So it really kept me, on my feet right until the end. The main selling point, as I said, for me, is Doris Day. I love her. And this is one of my favourite performances of hers. Maybe second or third to Calamity Jane. She plays Kit, who is being stalked and receiving these phone calls, and she is married to Anthony Preston, who is played by the brilliant Rex Harrison. I liked his performance. I thought as a married couple they were convincing, they worked well together on screen. Not really surprised by that, to be perfectly honest with you. There were some other people in the cast who I'm not familiar with. I hadn't seen them in anything else, but I'm quite keen to explore some of their work. So that is probably a good springboard for me to watch other films, but I still have a few more Doris Days left. So the big question is, would I recommend Midnight Lace? Absolutely, without question. If I ask somebody to name a Doris Day film or to recommend a Doris Day film, nobody has yet to say Midnight Lace. That's not to say that people don't love it, that there isn't a big audience for it, but generally speaking, it's not the film that people mention to me. So I would love to know what you think of this. I'd love to talk about this with people and get some theories going and see how long it took you, if at all, to work out what was going on. I did not. And who I believed left me feeling guilty. And yeah, it'll make you question your own perception of things as well. It's a brilliant, brilliant film. Just out of interest, it has a 6.8 out of 10 rating on IMDb. I need to log in and give it a 9.5 out of 10. I did think it was brilliant. If you've seen it, please do let me know your thoughts. Midnight Lace is brilliant.